everyone, and welcome to our session, The Evolution of ITSM, Learnings and Lessons for the Future with AI. First, we're going to introduce ourselves, and then we'll start with the session. So, I'm Johanna, and I'm the marketing assistant here at Aptis, and I'm responsible mainly for the Epic Smart marketing activities. And I'm here with our CEO, Andreas Haken. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Johanna. And hi, everyone. Yeah, as you already mentioned, I'm the founder and product manager of Epic SumUp, CEO of Aptis, and I'm working with the Atlassian ecosystem since 2010. I started my work as project manager, and so I'm very close to the kind of solutions that we are trying to solve, and that is. Yeah, that was the birth hour of Epic SumUp, because we had this lack of overview. And that is, that's the main part of the story, I think.
So can you tell us a bit more about Aptis and what you're doing there?
We founded the company as a follow-up from former projects in 2014 with the plan to become Atlassian solution company and plugin vendor. That worked pretty well, and it took almost 1 year until we got the official labels and the official partnerships for both of it. We had several smaller companies as our customers that we served with Atlassian solutions a lot. We were very, let's say, quite known as the guys who are strong at customization of server systems. During the same time in 2015, we started developing apps for the marketplace. And in 2016, we established Epic SumUp. There are several other smaller apps that we have introduced into the market, but Epic SumUp was, by intention, the most important one, and it should become the flagship product for us as well. Yeah, since 2016 and 17, it is well established at the market, and there's a lot of customers like Tesla, Adobe, or HP Enterprises that are using it, and there is a lot more. We have the strong customership on the banking area, and this is how it goes. And after some time, several years, we established all of these parts of the company. And at the end, since the last 2 years, we decided to focus most on the app development, and especially on Epic SumUp. So what we are now doing is we serve the customers with solutions for lean project management, and Epic SumUp is, of course, one of the most important products in this area.
Thank you for the very thorough introduction to Aptis and, of course, Epic SumUp as well. So let's get started with our interview. So we've prepared a set of questions related to ITSM and AI. And so the first question is, starting really general here, is have you worked with AI before?
Yes. AI that was during my studies, which was 20 years ago. I was first confronted with the developments in AI. That was the early parts when face recognition and learning machines are starting to improve the pattern recognition part. And then over some time, we figured out, or it turns out that AI is improving to understand languages. Language models, meanings are more and more technical available, so that AI improves to work with languages. Natural language is more and more and better to understand by machines. So this is a very important part, because now AI is able to bridge some gaps between the machine and the spoken language more and more. And that helps us a lot, and we see that actually with the actual developments on Atlassian with Atlassian AI systems. For sure, if you have a robot which is not, or a machine which is not sounding like a machine, this gives there is also a good feeling of people to feel understood by let's say, the agents in the support.
Yeah. So you really got a good look on like the early start of AI as well. And so looking to the future a bit more, what do you think the impact of AI will have on the future and specifically the future of ITSM?
Yeah. So as I already mentioned, the bridge that can be now closed by machines is the part which is understanding meaning, reason, and semantics of languages, and especially in the ITSM, or let's say in the general service management area, we can use the machines now to understand the needs of the customers better and map them to some technical rule-based systems. So, and this is where AI comes into play to compensate and support the work of agents so that automations could work better, and then the suggested solutions could help the agents if they're not replaced for the, let's say, easier solutions.
That's really interesting. So going a bit more into ITSM and also the history of ITSM, what milestone in ITSM history had the most impact on you personally or company-wise?
If I look back to the early days of Aptis as well, we are the first and most of the parts and the customers that we served were support customers, and we used Jira. That was before Jira Atlassian invented JSM. So we used Jira as a ticket system, but there were some visibility lag, so users could not see their tickets if they are not a named user or have a consumer license. And if you serve a lot of customers, then all of that become to some kind of a problem. So we had solutions for that, which are still on the marketplace, but they are now, because the developments of JSM somehow outdated, and you don't need that anymore. And and the ITSM used by Jira gives you one very big benefit over most of the other systems, because we use Jira not just for support, but also for project and program or product management. So you're able to integrate somehow the ITSM parts. Let's say a support ticket can be a child issue of your project because it's related to the actual project. And then you want to see that as an overview. It's not just support channels that do only support, but support can also be part of a project. And combining that's a huge benefit of using Jira in that context.
So do you still use Jira, or what do you use for ITSM in your company now?
Yeah, sure. We do almost anything with Jira. So maybe we do some parts with Jira that are not necessary. So just that story that we had, pizza organization ordering once per week, which we have done with Jira. But yes, for sure, we have now customer portals on JSM, and we integrate that in our surveillance system so that we get a good feeling and good sense of how much effort do we spend on support to support the products. And for the customers, we still have these customers with a lot of users. And there on this area, we use very intense email communication. This is not necessary part of JSM, but we can use it with Jira as a standalone also. That's right. But I think the most important part is that if you have customers that pay for your support, that you can assign these support tickets and the work which is related and stored in these tickets to some kind of mandates, let's say contracts or something, so that you can see how much time have we has the customer paid or ordered, and what's negotiated, and what's left. So what is the budget of that?
So I feel like we've already covered this, but my next question I have here is, how did you do support before JSM? So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, right. We have used Jira way before JSM, and there were two aspects. The first one that I already mentioned is that JSM brings up the customer, not license consuming part of it, and the SLA part. That's impressive. We had solutions for that before, but then Atlassian bought these parts and put them together, so that at the end we now can use the JSM. So what we had before is we put all the tickets on one Kanban board, and we had some rule-based ordering system in it, so that we can order tickets by swim lanes, and that's what now is called the queues. So the point is, we still use these kind of boards because we want to wrap together support from different channels to one team. So there is one support channel which is dedicated to one area, let's say product support or a special customer, but the team is serving more of them, so we need another level to put these things together.
Yeah, I agree. So I feel like you've already mentioned some pros of how the JSM launch impacted your way of working back then, but is there like any major thing that you feel like really improved your way of working, so that JSM really improved it?
Oh yeah. Besides the operational benefits of having a lot of customers that could have user accounts without consuming a license, and the email support and back and forth stuff, so and the automations on that, which is really good. There is one big thing that is really changed some parts of it, which is the connection to Confluence. So in that part, that using Confluence as a knowledge base, which we did, and then connected to the JSM portal, that was I think a big game changer, because now not every supplier or supporter is working for paid account, but if you have, let's say, a product support, or if you want to just help the people, or internal supports and something, then this question, which is formalized or typed down by the customer, which is then created doing a lookup to the knowledge base and support you with some suggestions of how you can help yourself. That's a big game changer. And we still see that. Then I think Atlassian told something about 40% of less tickets, which is great, but sometimes I think it's even more than this. And that was a big game changer, yes.
Oh, okay. So is that also something that you would consider makes JSM stand out against its competitors, or is there something else you also think?
I think in the meantime, a lot of companies and other supporters or other companies have understood that this is the connection to knowledge-based systems is that's a good opportunity, and that's a real good benefit for customers and for tickets just to avoid tickets, so that they have come up with their own solutions, and some of them were in place already. I don't want to mention some, but I think Intercom is a good example of a support system that has this in place, maybe even before JSM. But I think the big benefit of JSM to stand out against its competitors is still the integration into a project management system. That is that tickets that are created, or that it could be integrated in other parts of the work. So in case that, let's say you have a project, and during the project, the customer comes up with some questions, which could turn into tickets, and now you're able to integrate them. So, and this was one of the big reasons that, and the big benefits that we put Epic SumUp containers into place. So now this, let's say the customer project is one container, and one part of it is the support during the project, which will also be accounted against the project, so that you get everything under one roof with a good overview, so that you can see how is your project on track or not. Because sometimes it's the support that's coming on a let's say hidden path if you don't have that on your screen, which breaks the budget of a project. So, and that's I think that is one of the biggest opportunities of using Jira and JSM together.
Absolutely. So now that we've talked a lot about JSM, let's go a bit into another Atlassian product that will launch sometime soon and is already in beta, which is Atlassian Intelligence. So do you think you will use Atlassian Intelligence at your company?
Oh, yes, sure. I really like the idea of doing another step into that direction. So I heard the announcements, I read a lot of that, and I'm really interested in how this will be fit into the overall solution. And as already mentioned earlier, now with AI, with the support of AI, and you know what ChatGPT could do for you is that you get, let's say, the very first 4 steps of a 5 that helps you to understand the problem a little bit better. So you can use that for questionnaires. You can use that for questions so that the picture gets a little bit more complete, which is that what a support agent does usually. He asks questions to understand the problem better and to get that. And if you have models of the problems in mind or in your systems already, then AI will be really helpful to close these gaps and put it into place. Although AI will never support the human interaction, and I think this is important to mention.
Yeah, I agree. So we've talked a lot about how it can benefit agents and everything, but what about team leaders? So how do you keep track of everything happening in JSM from a high level perspective? I know we've already mentioned just customer projects and the support included in that, but just as kind of a general support, do you use Epic Summer containers for that as well?
Oh, yes, for sure. So we had the problem that that sometimes there is, let's say, we have a support team of 4 people serving 11, 12, 15, 20 customers, and all of them come up with their tickets. And now you need to know if you work on this ticket, the amount of time that you work on this ticket should be calculated or accounted somewhere. And this is something that is out of scope of the JSM in total. So you can have one view for, let's say, one customer channel, and then you can see the time if the people are working, logging their time against that. But there is a lack of an overview. So we used Epic Sum Up containers to create contracts with customers, and inside these contract containers there are mandates that are negotiated, and at these mandates there is a budget, and below these mandates there will be the tickets will be assigned to that mandate. And with Epic Sum Up you can just easily see that kind of overview. There is a mandate which is 50% is already done, and we have 50% left, or there's 80% done. We should talk to the customers to expand the mandate or create a new one, depending on how the customers negotiated. That gives you a level of control at the particular issue. Let's say the mandate number 1 has different outlines than the mandate number 2, different runtimes, and whatever. You can put that into issues and then create a structured overview of all of this. And we have a lot of conversations with customers and partners, and there is a lot of customers that use it that way. Sometimes they use Epics for this kind of work. That's also possible, so that the Epics have a budget or an estimation, and then they are sold to the customer, and the guys from the support team just put the tickets into that Epic, and on the dashboard you now can see in a list of progress bars how far are we done with which of the mandates. And just to mention our friends from Idalco, which are working that way, and where one part of the last releases was related to the close conversations to that, to support their kind of work. And this is what we do, and we know that a lot of other companies are doing it in the same way. That's for support, but you can also use this kind of overviews for, let's say, to share or spread story points upon stories, or let's even so to say having budgets of story points on epics. All that is possible. So Epic SumUp is quite flexible in tailoring your metrics together. So that helps us a lot. And then from that point on, I just need one list of all the support mandates, and I can just see, okay, we are on track with 80% of them, but there is 2 customers that I need to contact too, and that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, I agree. So that's basically also an aspect of my next question, which would be, what gadgets do you think are most helpful to have on an ITSM dashboard?
Yeah. This leads me to some let's say more general thoughts. So there is, let's say, if you think about a dashboard, what is the dashboard intended to be? So there is one dashboard. The intention of a dashboard could be, give me an overview of this kind of customer. So, and then we put the project on it, some track records on it, and some activities, screens, or whatever is necessary for this kind of customer, so that we can have an overview of the metrics and the performance of this project. This is very interesting, especially for if you have negotiated resolving times, or let's say you want to take care of the usage of Confluence, and all that stuff. That's one kind of a support dashboard in this area. But there is also, if you do one step back as a project manager or a support manager, key accounter or whatever, and if you have more than one customer and you want to just see the overview of all the customers, how are these customers tracking, and to see some indicators. In my opinion, progress bars are the most easy to understand way to see if we are on track or not. So, and if you use colors like green, red, and some needles on the progress bar, you can very easily see if everything is on project, if we are on track or not. And that's the second kind of dashboard that I would suggest for having an overview of all the customers if you're serving more than one. That is also interesting, because Jira and the Atlassian system is somehow organized into serving very, very big projects or large customers, which is also quite good. But the reality for a lot of companies is that you have more than one customer to serve, and you need one shared entry point of this, so to say, and that's the intention of the second one. So a dashboard over all your projects at once, and getting entry points to your project just from the dashboard. That is, I work with that dashboards every day. That's my entry point in the beginning of the day, and it feels good if you see that everything is on track, and then you can do the nice things.
Yeah. That's really cool. So, I think we're already at the last question. So, is there any advice you would give someone that's just starting to implement JSM?
Yes, sure. So from what we saw and the experiences that we did with a lot of customer projects is that many customers intend to or try to over-engineer the start of it. So, and that is, let's say, some kind of an agile approach. Atlassian has done a really good job with creating templates for JSM portals related or dedicated to the particular use cases. So it's a good advice to start with what they have set up. And by the way, you get ITIL setups that are included in these kind of templates. And then from this point, you can just remove or hide the things that are not necessary for you. And then work with it and start to improve over time. That's always the first thing that we suggest, not just with support projects, but also with business projects, software projects. You will come to the point that the company's culture is slightly different than any other company is. So I think that's everyone is claiming that for their own company, and that's okay. But if you now want to fit the system to your culture, which is another philosophy that I support, is that tools should fit your culture and not the other way around. Then you will see that you have with Atlassian, Jira, and JSM and the system in place, and especially with the marketplace with, I don't know, trillions of add-ons that you can just add and tailor your system to your needs. Then you're able to create a system that works just perfectly to matching to your culture. And that's where the solution partners come into play. They can help you a lot finding the right add-ons. So start with the defaults, find the needed changes, and then start to adapt with settings, with the help of solution partners, and put the right add-ons into place. And by the way, if you go to the ACE groups, you will find a lot of people that can help you to find the right apps. And if they are too far away, you can also go to the Atlassian community, which is a very active part. And we are also around there and can help you if there is some answers in place.
Thank you. I think this has been a really great session, and we've already reached the end. And for our viewers, if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. And yeah, I think that's about it. So see you soon and bye.
Yeah, thank you, Joanna, for great moderation, and we see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you so much for that session. It was a lot of great information.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So what we'll do is we can open up the Q&A session now, and any of the attendees that have joined, please feel free to either put your questions in the chat, or we can stream your video and audio as well.
Yeah, thank you. I have one question. I asked this question already in the chat. So this the question that I have to you and the audience is: are you working with customers that are paying their tickets? So this is something. So which I would be very interested in. I created a small poll for it. So unless you might want to answer this question, I just published that, so I get the information.
Okay. Let's see. Customers for accounting. That's a great question. So here at Trundle, what we do is we have epics for each of our billable customers, and those epics have the hours that we have for each of the customers, and then tickets that come in. We just would link those to the Epic using the account feature. Let me back up. We also, to aid in this, we use an add-on called Tempo Timesheets, and that allows us to create the account for that specific customer. It allows us to create those tickets and subtasks to be able to track that. So each of the employees that work on the customer's specific tickets, they would track that time on that ticket, and it would roll up into the Epic. And then when we send out our report, whether it's weekly, monthly, that report would show all of the work that we're doing. It provides visibility in the value that we're bringing. And then the customers aren't only just getting a bill for X amount of hours, they actually see where the work's going.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the situation that I just described in this interview. That's something that we see a lot more than expected a few years ago. There is a lot of companies working that way, and although I really like this kind of avoid customer support questions, which is more like a service management approach. But for, let's say, customer that create tickets, or even if that's consulting tickets or questions or tasks or something that could be assembled to these uptake structures very, very easily. So yeah, that's when Epic somewhat put into place. So we might talk about that later if you need some kind of an overview. We are using Tempo Timesheet as well for different approaches, right?
Yeah.
So, is there any questions from the attendees? Or are they still sleeping?
I don't know. It might be pretty late for some of the attendees in their time zone.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and the Q&A chat, or just speak up and we can add you to our stream as well.
Oh, by the way, which I just saw this recording of the interview, which we did a few days before, and I realized that this damn fly was really annoying. Have you seen that one? There was this one fly. Yeah. PM.
I've been having actually the same issue this morning. I'm like, do I have floaters in my eyes? Do I need to get my eyes checked, or is that a little like bug flying around?
Yeah. Oh, it's 11 p.m. in India.
It's a little bit earlier here still, so around 7:30 p.m. So.
Okay. So if you haven't seen the fly, then please watch the recording once again and try to figure out. Do you expect? Oh, that's an interesting question. So asset management is I think yes, it is. That's what I think will come up in the future. Is that if you so translations? There was this question from Nahir a little bit earlier. So there is always translation, and then there's understanding, and understanding. That is able to create some meaning out of the spoken word or written word, and then map it to a suggestion of what kind of asset management could be intended to mean with that one. I think that's one of the next steps that are coming, and then for sure the asset management will be part of it. So you can. This is part of an information which kind of requests are around these kind of assets and could be. Map to that. Yeah, but Hunter is probably paying for Jira licensed users might be less costly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So this is, and this is, by the way, that we do not use JSM for all of these kind of projects. So that's something that you need to calculate, right? The assumption that, and that's some parts of the. I remember when they started with this kind of license model, there was a lot of discussions around that. Because if you just save 1 or 2 licenses or 100 licenses for a user, which is not that expensive in comparison to one JSM agent, you probably should just not use that model. You can use it with Jira as well. So there was service management already before JSM. They did a really good job on this, but it's you always have to take account that that is something that's valuable for you, for a particular project. Oh, we got it.
Yeah, looks like we have another question from Sham. What is the best way to start with ITSM?
Yeah, the best way to start with that depends. I need a little bit of the background of this question. So if you don't have ITSM in place, then everything is a good start. To just start with something that's trackable. We have customers that are doing ITSM with Excel sheets or with calls and stuff. That is so everything is better than this. But if you start if you think about to compare ITSM systems against each other's, then I think Atlassian has gone the extra mile in creating this kind of template, so that I think a system, a portal is set up in a few minutes. So what much larger part is to get all your agents work in the way and understand the philosophy of service management a lot more. And this is something that we also saw in the last few years, that the companies more and more understand the value of services. So regardless if they're internal or external to customers, services and service quality is something that is very important, and that makes sometimes the big difference between if you have the selection between 1 or 2 solution providers for that. I hope that answers the question. So anyway, that starting with ITSM is use the templates and start with Jira Service Management. If that is the background of the question, could you give me some feedback around that? Yeah, the best place to start. Why you need? Yeah, that's the background of it. So. Have we played with the AI in beta? No, we haven't played with it. We have seen it in some presentations, but we did not incorporate it so far. So I don't know what the actual state of that is. But what we have seen in some presentations was very promising, although it was yeah. Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Ebek says, I am scared to explore AI. JSM is live.
Yeah, could be. So I think every new invention needs some first steps, and there will be some stumbling around it. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to that.
You could always, Bebek, you could always spin up a Jira, a demo instance or a free instance of JSM, and then explore the AI beta there. Who will be the lab?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that we will give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions? I still don't believe dinosaur lived. All right, Dimitri has a question. Could you define or describe ITIL, ITSM in general for starters?
Oh, oh, that's a huge question. So,
Do we have time? We might have time to scratch the surface.
yeah. So, ITIL is a framework, and ITSM is a kind of principle. So ITSM is enterprise in IT service management. I would rather take into account these nouns like ESM, enterprise service management, but they all share in common that there is some kind of service management, and there is of course models around that. So what is in impact? What is it, a break, or how does it impact the company? And these models around that to describe the seriousity of these tickets that are created and this stuff that is defined in the ITIL framework, so to say. You still can have a certification in ITIL, and this is, yeah, there is a template around the Jira Service Management that incorporates all these principles from the ITIL certification. I hope that answers the question. Is there anything else that we can answer right now? So what I would like to invite you all is that you can come to our virtual booth, and there is these opportunities to connect with us. So you can book a meeting, have a demo or something, just talk. We will be there for a couple of hours, a couple of minutes, maybe hours, depends on how much people are attending there, and we will give you some opportunities to ask more questions or get into discussion.
Thank you so much for coming to JiraCon and speaking for all of these attendees. It was truly appreciated, and I really, really enjoyed your session.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.